Hi friends, welcome back to Art Tutorials. We are continuing our series with top interview question and answers. In today's episode, I have brought you top interview question and answers on Bootstrap framework. We all know Bootstrap framework is one of the most leading CSS and UI framework, which is used in at least, if not all, at least 60 to 70% of enterprise applications. Now, it's very important. A lot of interview questions are asked, tricky questions are asked on this. So I want to help you by bringing out the top interview question and answers. This is part one of that series, and I will also be giving you full tutorials with live examples that are discussed here. We'll get started. If you have any doubts, any queries, please drop them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to help you and clarify them. Let's get started. So the first question is, explain what is Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is a HTML, CSS, and JavaScript framework for building the rich web applications with minimal effort. This framework emphasizes more on building mobile web applications or mobile first applications. You can also mention that Bootstrap provides a lot of built-in UI components that we can use readily in our application, reducing the effort and release of the product timeline. The next question is, what are the key components of Bootstrap? The key components of Bootstrap are CSS. So there are a lot of plenty of CSS utilities and classes and tools that helps us develop application faster and easier way. Scaffolding, it provides a basic structure like grid system, link styles and background and typography. Layout components, so it will give you list of layout components like sidebar, main navigation, main content, container, etc. It also supports JavaScript plugins like jQuery, so you can easily extend any existing plugin into your application. You can customize the look and feel, the way it behaves, and you can extend Bootstrap also. These are the key components that you should discuss when you are asked this question. Explain what are class loaders in Bootstrap. So class loader is part of JRE, which loads Java classes into Java virtual environment. So class loaders also does the process of converting a named class into equivalent binary form. So this is low level. You would not need it much, but you should be aware of it. So what are the types of layouts available in Bootstrap? In Bootstrap, there are two types of layouts that are available. One is fluid layout, one is fixed layout. Fluid layout is based on the percentages and it uses 100% width on your screen. Fixed layout is designed for standard screens which uses fixed pixels like 940 pixel. What are offset columns in Bootstrap? For more specialized layouts, offsets are a useful feature. For more spacing, they can be used by pushing columns either to left or to right. For example, when you say column -xs star, classes do not support offset, but they are easily replicated using an empty cell. So basically using offsets, you can push the columns to the left or the right and add extra spacing to your layout. That's what offset columns are used for. What is column ordering in Bootstrap? So column ordering is one of the important features when you're writing a grid which is trying to float or to arrange itself. So column ordering is one of the feature available in Bootstrap and you can easily write columns in any order. So the ordering can change dynamically. For example, call md push and call md pull can easily be used to push and pull the columns in whichever direction you want to get the desired layout or the template that you're looking for. The next question is what function you can use to wrap a page content. So to wrap a page content, we will use .class container. Container is the utility which allows you to wrap the page content. You can also use multiple ways to style it like center, left, right, depending upon how you want your layout and your template. The next question is what are the two ways you can display the code? So this is more about finding the CSS utilities that you are aware of. So you can say there are two types of methods that we can use to display the code. The first is code tag. The second is pre-formatted tag. So using both, you can display the code efficiently in the page. The next question is, explain what is list group in Bootstrap and what is it used for. So list groups are components to display both simple and complex elements with custom content. So we can use we use ULLI class, which will give us a list, either ordered or unordered. So you can group lists together and it will become a list group, and you can refer to the item as dot list group item for individual elements. Explain what are the steps for creating a basic or vertical forms. So to add a form, basically, it's not nothing different than what we do in HTML. It's the regular one. We use our form element tag and then wrap it using a class called .form group. And then we for each of the element, we add something called a new class called .form control, form hyphen control, which would apply all the styling to the form. So that's how you can style the form automatically using the built-in classes. The next question, important one, explain what media object in Bootstrap is and what are their types. So media objects in Bootstrap enable us to put media objects like image, video, audio to the left or right of the content blocks or align them better. Now media element can be created using the class .media. The source is specified in the class using the class .media-object. Media objects are of two types. We have two utilities. One is .media and the other is .media-list. We can use either of them to display the media assets. What are the different button styles in Bootstrap? So there are 7 different button styles, or rather this can be extended to other utilities also. Default, primary, success, info, warning, danger, and link. So these are the fixed ones. You can use it with text, you can use it with button, you can use it with background. So these you can use this with multiple combinations. What are Bootstrap alerts? So the Bootstrap alerts are used. We know that in HTML we have alerts and prompts that we want to display. Similarly, Bootstrap has alerts, and there are 4 different types that you can display. You can say alert success, alert info, alert warning, and alert danger. So these are the 4 different classes that you can use to display messages or user experience in your applications. Explain Bootstrap thumbnails. Now this is a very interesting question because this can be used with multiple interfaces like images, text, videos, etc. So we can use it by giving a class .thumbnails, and we can also add different look and feel like circle, border, square. So it depends upon how we want to display. Now, this is a very common question when it is asked in Bootstrap, which is how do you create a navbar in Bootstrap? So to create a navbar, you'll use a div with the class called .navbar, and we can also style it using .navbar default. And this is done using nav tag. And then we can also add the role to it as navigation, and then you can have navigation header, you can have navbar brand, etc. So those are the things you can use to customize the look and feel, the behavior of navbar. But to know the basics, navbar is used for basic navigation in your application. It is also rendered to mobile view, that is responsive design. So now another question, important one that is asked is, what do you mean by normalizing in Bootstrap? So to when we say normalize, we mean that we are trying to help it make it cross browser consistency. So there are few attributes which are supported by certain browsers and some are not. So we we minimize the CSS file and make it optimized so that it can work with cross-browser consistency. What is a scroll spy plugin in Bootstrap? So it's an auto updating navigation plugin which allows you to fetch data based on a scroll position. Now this is specially used in apps like Reddit, etc., where you have the scrolling facility. So you don't have to click on next page and it will automatically scroll to the next page and get the data. You can also use .active class to highlight the section whichever is active. What is the work of FX plugin in Bootstrap? Now, FX plugin allows you to attach a div to a location in the page. So you can append it, you can prepend it. So you can add an icon in front of it, you can add an icon at the end with FX plugin. Now, what are the various grid classes in Bootstrap? This is an extremely important question. There are four grid classes available in Bootstrap. The first is XS, that is for extra small, then small, medium, and large. So these are varied with different pixel sizes. And when you are designing your application, you want to focus on certain devices and make it compatible so that you design for multi screens, not just one. And that's the beauty about Bootstrap. So make sure you talk about these four when you are in your interview. Okay, the next question is, what are the contextual classes of tables in Bootstrap? So there are four contextual classes of tables in Bootstrap. First, .active, .success, .warning, and .danger. So you can use these contextual classes in almost with any element, like a link, like alert, button, etc. What are Bootstrap media queries? So media queries in Bootstrap allow you to move, show, and hide content based on different viewport sizes or device resolutions. So in the previous question we saw there were four different types of media queries that you can write for extra small, small, medium, and large. So you can write your code specific to show some elements on certain device and in certain elements hide them. So use so the question usually comes, how do you want to hide it? How do you want to show it? So we will use media queries to hide and show those elements. What are some of the alternative frameworks for Bootstrap? So they are interested in knowing whether you are aware of other frameworks that exist that can be similar to Bootstrap. So the answer to that is yes, there are multiple various other frameworks that are also famous and used across. One of which is Foundation, Material Design by Google, Bulma, Skeleton CSS, etc. Now, this is another, if you are applying for a UX UI role, they definitely want to know if you are aware of typography in Bootstrap. So what are some of the leading typography classes of Bootstrap? So some of the leading typography classes are .lead, that's a leading heading, .small, .text left, .list inline, .text lowercase or .uppercase. So these are different typography classes which are already available in Bootstrap for us to readily use them. Now, what are some of the contextual classes of Bootstrap tables? So we have table border, table striped, table hover, table responsive. So these are all the classes that are available in Bootstrap tables. Now, what are classes used to hide and display on specific device resolutions? So we can say using utility classes, we can definitely hide and show elements on certain specific device resolutions. Like .d hyphen small sm, that is, don't show this on small device. Or we can say .d sm small block, show them on small devices. So you can give multiple examples of how you have used uh, classes to hide and show on different devices. Make sure you go through them. All right, friends. So that brings us to the last question of this series of part one, Bootstrap in top interview question and answers. I'm trying to build a series of multi-part on Bootstrap to help you crack your interview. I hope you like this, and if you do, please do subscribe to my channel to keep supporting me. Also, if you have any questions or doubts, please drop them in the comments section below. I'll be happy to help you. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like my video. Stay tuned for more top interview question and answers to help you crack interviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.